What's up, YouTube? I'm back today with another sports card video. We're talking more about Bowman Draft today. Arguably the two top chase cards in this product have been pulled in the first week. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So Bowman Draft released on New Year's Eve, December 31st. On December 31st, this card got pulled. Marcelo, 1/1 superfractor auto. In my opinion, Marcelo is that is the chase card of this product right now because he was the #1 drafted high schooler. Like, if a high school draftee pans out and a college draftee pans out, that's about 2 to 3 years younger a high schooler can be. So the odds of that high school card being more expensive, there's definitely a higher possibility. And don't get me wrong, I love college players. I think they're better cards to invest in because they've proven themselves at a higher level. But as far as card values go, high schoolers, that's where the value's at. And on release day, the Marcelo superfractor, it already got pulled. That is crazy. On the first day, arguably the #1 card in the product gets pulled. Nuts. And then today, January 6th, so literally 1 week after the product has come out, this gets pulled. So both Marcelo and Jordan Lawlers superfractor autos off the board. They are done. In my opinion, the top 2 cards in this product are done. So what does that mean for the product? And that's what I really wanted to get into today on this video, is just what is the future of 2021 Bowman Draft now that arguably the 2 top cards have been pulled. You know, a lot of big players in this hobby, they're buying boxes for those cards. They're chasing those cards. They are chase cards for an absolute reason. I don't know if any of you have been in the hobby since 2018 when Ohtani came out, 2018 Bowman. My card shop was so busy, and it was never busy in 2018, first of all. But literally everyone is posting about the Ohtani superfractor, trying to chase the Ohtani superfractor for weeks and weeks and weeks until people just started forgetting about it because no one pulled it. And then it eventually got pulled later down the road. But chase cards are a thing, and it will affect this box, I believe. So let's talk about Bowman Draft. So Topps released Bowman Draft for $375, and I know my LCS, they released it for $399. So basically the same price as Topps, after shipping, handling. Let's just say $400 is a good release point for a jumbo box, and about $600 is where the super jumbo was at. So $400 and $600. And look at this, within 1 week, these 2 sales happened. So $480 and $471 on the jumbo box. So up $70 roughly in 1 week. That's crazy to me. That's unheard of for 1 week. That's crazy. And it's especially crazy because on the same day, boxes were selling for $435, $457, a lot lower prices. But check this out, Super Jumbo, about the same thing, but this one went up even more, about $100. So Jumbos went up about $80, Super Jumbos up about $100 in 1 week. Yes, I agree that I love this checklist. I really do like a lot of the players in this checklist, even though they did leave some key players out, which I think is going to be good for future Bowmans, by the way. I really am happy they left some of these players out because there's so many times, last year, they put every single person in Bowman Draft. And then in my opinion, 2021 Bowman, the first product this year, I really didn't think it was that great. I had almost no desire to open it just because I didn't like the checklist. I just didn't. And that's happened plenty of times in the past. There's been Bowman Chrome where there's literally no one to chase. What year was it? 2018, maybe 2019 Bowman Chrome. I know you could get Tatis's rookie auto in it, but as far as prospects go, there was no one. So I think it's going to be a good thing that they left some of these players off. There's at least 5 solid players they left off the list for 2022 products, which I think is going to be great. But as far as Bowman Draft goes, so it's already gone up a lot. It's gone up, let's just say both boxes have gone up about $100. And then let's see the light box actually, because I am curious. These released on Topps website for $90. I bought mine for $135 that have these cool refractors in it. So $139, so nothing crazy. No crazy movement there. I know at one point when they first dropped, so there was a shipping delay. So Jumbos are on time, but Super Jumbos and lights were delayed from Topps. And some people did get their lights early, and they were able to sell them for about $170, right off the rip. But I want to touch on the shipping thing. So I do think shipping has affected these boxes and why they're going up right now. LCSs still haven't gotten their boxes because of the holidays, and just shipping is backed up right now. It's bad. It happens every single year during the holiday season. Like, for example, I was in a break I bought into over a week ago for the light boxes, and I even checked up with the breaker yesterday, and he's like, no, man, I don't have them in yet. They were supposed to be here today. Maybe they'll be here tomorrow. I was like, okay, I get it. But yeah, so I do think that has impacted a lot of people, you know, whether some people ordered off the Topps website, some people ordered themselves, and their boxes just aren't in yet. And either it's a breaker or it's a, like myself, say I purchased a jumbo box for release day off of blowout cards or whatever, and it was supposed to be here by now, but I'm really fiending. I really want this box. There hasn't been any update on the tracking. Shoot, maybe I'll go out and pay $470 because this dude has it in hand and they're going to ship it to me. Like, I do think that has some type of influence on such a big jump at the start, because I do think some people are just desperate at this point. Like, I know for a fact, like, a breaker could buy this box for $480, this jumbo box, and they could break it at $480. They'll probably break it at $520 to make more money, and like, it will go for that price. Like, people will buy into those breaks at those prices, especially the people that are waiting for those boxes still and just want a taste of Bowman Draft. Like, I've already ripped Bowman Draft and I still want a taste of Bowman Draft. I just can't afford it. So I have joined some smaller breaks for that same reason, and probably have overpaid for that same reason. Well, let's get back to it. What do these two superfractor autos, how is this going to affect 2021 Bowman Draft? You know, there's a ton of people out there now that are very aware that buying and holding wax is very safe investment, like a very safe investment. And Bowman Draft's usually the best at that. Everyone knows that Bowman Draft almost always goes up. Like, when was the last time Bowman Draft didn't go up? Like 2014? Like, maybe. And it might have even gone up because the prices were probably super low back then. But it's been at least 5 straight years of just up, 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 and up by a lot, not just a little bit. So I do think this will potentially affect some of those guys, some of those people holding wax. I also do think that it could affect the short term of the hobby boxes. You know, you might not get those big dollar spenders that are literally ripping for these chase cards. Like, shoot, there might be a millionaire out there that goes, you know what, I want this Marcelo Meyer superfractor auto, and I'm going to rip until I get that. And no, maybe he's not going to do that anymore. But so short term, I don't know, to be honest. I have no idea. We're going to see what type of influence this has. I think it's going to affect it a little bit. I don't think it's going to crash this box at all, because people like you and me, just like average people, I've been in this hobby for over 5 years now, and I've never pulled a superfractor. Like, I don't open a box of Bowman Draft myself expecting a superfractor. I know a lot of people don't. So I don't think it's going to affect the hobby in that way. But for some of those bigger spenders, could possibly be a thing. And those people have a lot of control in the hobby. But at the end of the day, what really makes or breaks a product is the checklist. And I do think this is a good checklist. Marcelo Meyer, Jordan Lawler, Brady House, like big 3 high schoolers there. And then for college players, you know, you have Henry Davis, you have Sal Frelick, you have Colton Cowser. I'm forgetting some other people. There are some big college names in this product, and I really do think they're good players. So the fate of this product is really going to depend on if those guys pan out. You know, that is going to be the end all be all at the end of the day. Whether the players on this checklist pan out, it's not going to be just because these 2 cards were pulled. So it's still up in there. There's not a definite answer of where these boxers are going to go. I know Bowman Draft has gotten more and more popular over the past few years, like especially the last 2 years. I feel like the itch for Bowman cards in general had just gone way up. Like, I feel like when I first got into the hobby in 2017, like, no one really cared about Bowman First Chrome cards. Like, those were my favorite because I just thought they were awesome. They're the first Topps card. But everyone cared about flagship rookie cards, not Bowman. Now it's kind of switching. And Bowman autos, Bowman First Chrome cards, they're becoming massive in this hobby. And as I've talked about in past videos, as a lot of base cards have come down, a lot of Bowman First autos have actually gone up. Like, still, even with the crash in the market, these Bowman autos are going up. So, you know, it's really going to depend on the checklist. And, you know, if I had to make a guess, I'm sure it's going to go up. Over time, I think it's going to go up. I do think it comes down a little bit from where it's at right now. Like, jumping $100 in a week, I think is a little ridiculous. I think once more shipments come in, we're going to settle probably around $450. I hope. Just because, I mean, a lot of these cards aren't worth a lot of money. They're just not. A lot of these base cards are worth a couple bucks a piece. So as cards start coming down, you know, I'm guessing we're going to settle around 450, maybe 500, who knows. But it's a good checklist, I agree. But I don't think there's going to be any immediate impact on these two cards getting pulled. But we'll have to see, honestly. Like, this is very intriguing to me. I don't think this has ever happened before. I mean, I'm sure it has, but like arguably the top two cards pulled in the first week. That's crazy. There's times where these products still haven't pulled their giant cards, like 10 years down the road. And another thing I want to point out, as far as long-term value, say Marcelo Meyer, Jordan Lawler, they just become absolute stars. Like, for example, Mike Trout, yes, is one of one. Bowman first autograph sold for $4 million a few years ago from Vegas Dave. But like, this is a perfect example right here. For Mike Trout's refractor auto numbered to 500, where now they have a lot more parallels under numbered to 500, 25 grand. So those cards, those boxes, they still have value. And where I was going with that is Marcelo Meyer and Jordan Lawler, for example, if they pan out, every one of their autographs is still going to hold value, probably more than the box if they do pan out. You know, even if it ends up being $1,000 box, if Marcelo Meyer ends up being one of the top players in the MLB one day, which who knows? I bet you his base autograph's worth about $1,000, like at least. All right, everybody, that is going to be about it for the video. I just wanted to ramble a little bit. There's been a lot of talk on Twitter. A lot of people think that this is going to crash 2021 Bowman Draft. A lot of people that have been around a lot longer be like, no, it's not. And I'm kind of with that too. I just don't think it's going to. It might not escalate as fast, but I think over time it's gonna creep up like usual, and it's gonna all be based off the checklist. So yeah, I just want to talk a little bit because this is a hot topic right now. I've never seen it before. I've never seen the top cards pulled so quickly on a huge, massive product like Bowman Draft. All right, everyone, that's going to do it for today's video. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you think of 2021 Bowman Draft. Do you think it's a good product? Do you think it's a bad product? I thought it was an okay product so far. That's just based off my experience, though. I had the worst jumbo box of all time. And then I had probably the best light box of all time. So I'm like in between. I think it's pretty good, but I do like the checklist. I do think there is a lot of quality players in this checklist. And I think it's going to be steady. I think where it's at right now, 450, 470. I think it's fair, but time will only tell. So yeah, give me your honest comments in the comments below on 2021 Bowman Draft. Where you think it's going to go? Do you think the superfractor is going to crash it? Do you think it's going to steadily climb as a product in a sealed box? That's really what we're focusing on. But yeah, thank you all for watching. You guys have a great rest of your day. See ya.